All right, well, sure, okay.
The thing I want to mention is that I talked about how the white left would throw these books and what have you at us, and that was a struggle that we had to endure. And I think the point that I wanted to make, I don't want it to come out as anti-intellectual, because that's a really important thing. And one of the tasks that's before us that we don't do as well today as we did many years ago, we have to create revolutionary intellectuals, as opposed to the academics and what have you, who's about academia more than anything else. And that's what they were, substitutes, for actual revolutionaries. And they were revolutionary based on who was the most effective in quoting this person and that person, and that that was what the debate revolved around. But theory is really important. And because of that kind of thing that I just mentioned, remember I was telling you about the Desi Woods work? How in the Desi Woods work that the people were just really demoralized, and because these crazy kind of theoretical discussions that were going on above the heads of the people, Trotsky this and et cetera, didn't have anything to do that people could see with their lives. And people those of us who've gone to school, go to these really wild kinds of philosophical and theoretical classes on philosophy that seems to be far-fetched and, unrelated to anything in the real world. And in fact, philosophers, they develop their own language. And some of them, you read journals and stuff, you don't know what the hell they just said. The only people who can understand what they said is people who, like them, right? They have their own special language and what have you. And so, a lot of people don't want to hear anything theory. We have a serious issue with women in theory. Because women usually get engaged in the practice. Okay, I don't care about that. I'll do the damn work, and are willing to do the work, but often won't engage in the theoretical work because there's a certain kind of socializing associated with that too, but also because theory is hostile too often to getting stuff done. People want to have these theoretical debates that ain't got nothing to do with getting something done. Let these guys just talking all this stuff, but getting something done. And so what we need to do, and in the past, I mentioned Demisha Blackearth, who was up there. She was 19 years old, but she was capable. We sent her throughout Europe to talk about the Desi Woods case, and she was capable. She could hold her own in these discussions with anybody because she understood the 14 points. If you learn the 14 points and can understand that and deal with it, you can deal any place on earth with anybody. Because for one thing, theory can be real pristine. It doesn't get dirty, it doesn't get nasty, it doesn't have to touch, but the real world is not pristine. And Marx, one thing Marx said that was really important, that in the past philosophers were about explaining the world, but the real task is what? Changing the world. And so if you got some kind of philosophy that no matter how pristine and wonderful it is, you can't use it to change the world, it's as worthless as used toilet paper. Right? So we have to create revolutionary working class intellectuals. And that's really important. And we have to help people to embrace theory. Don't run from it. Don't allow this to be something that's the property of just this handful, of elitists and what have you. We can break it down. And that's what we have a responsibility to do. Some people, I hate this petty bourgeois force. They come and say, well, the masses can't understand it. I can understand, but the masses don't. What the hell are you talking about? And that's the petty bourgeoisie. Because the masses can understand it. And I've seen circumstances where, you go to places where there was damn near illiteracy, like in Nicaragua, was deep. And before you know it, people could tell you, the peasants and whatever, can talk to you about imperialism. The most politically educated people in the world, and often in these oppressed places where where literacy is not even that pronounced. And so if you can lock the theory into the lives of the people, if people can see the relationship between this theory and changing their conditions, they will embrace it. And what we have a responsibility to do is take this theory, these discussions that we have, these highfalutin words and all this stuff we use, because it is important, because the language is scientific. And so you need to be able to say what you mean and mean what you say with some form of precision. So there is a language that's out there. And it's universal within certain kind of revolutionary circles. Learn it. Learn it. But it doesn't mean anything for you to just spout those words and slogan mongering. For it to be significant, then you have to have the ability to take those words and concepts and then translate it for the masses of people and speak the language that they understand and use common references that they are familiar with to spread the theory. Create revolutionary working class intellectuals. That's what we have to do. So I just wanted to make that comment, comrades. Uhuru. Yeah.
Uhuru. Thank you. All right, well, before we close out, I want to really appreciate all of the panelists, Chairman Omali, Yeshitela, Uhuru, President Diop Olugbala, Chairwoman Penny Hess, of the African People's Solidarity Committee, Uhuru. And if you are not already a member of the African People's Solidarity Committee, I want to encourage you to get a form and sign up to become a member today. Also want to again remind you, Burning Spear newspaper, hot off the presses, newest issue, longest running revolutionary African newspaper in publication since 1968. Most recent issue is available on our table right over here. And I also want to make an announcement that our fundraising goal was $200 and we raised $296. Which really is not, I mean, that's $4. I got $4 right here, so $300. I put in 20 earlier, but I add 4 to it, so $300. Uhuru. All right. Again, appreciate everyone for being here. One Africa.
One nation.
One Africa.
One nation.
One nation.
One Africa.
Uhuru.
Uhuru.
How is it possible that people just die every day in a land so rich? What about them? What about them? Yes, all I'm think about that. Where you at? God, take me to the streets. Where you at? Organizing, man, this white is deep. Where you at? We ain't seen you in the company. Don't let them have us, man. Keep it nothing, back to nothing. Where you at? In the streets, killing brothers and out. Now where you at? Bus stop, barbershops, and the trap. Now where you at the rally? This been the chairman, no matter. Again, the corner, breathe the guy that screams like powers like the fire. Used to be young and foolish, didn't know what to do with my life. But the side was a brutal situation was ruined. The fight was the game. And Africans, we had to be moving. That's when I went to school and came in contact with you. That's when I finally found out that I was an African. It wasn't no magic book back when the black started to travel. From back then up until right now, we was always fighting. Don't even think that we settling it down. It was civil rights, man, get it right, man. It's Africa, it's our lifetime. We all organized with everything in our lifetime. It's fight time. Then, around the world, people is bumping. And if you think that you gon' spray it away, then good luck, cause you don't need it. In fact, you weed it a bit too much. And crackers giving out nothing but beatings and you that sucks. But why you love to tell you what you need to look at the facts. Ain't a people got freedom without fighting back. So where you at, my people? Take you to the streets. And where you at? Organizing, man, it's white deep. Where you at? We ain't seen you in the couple weeks. Don't let them have us, man. Just keep it nothing, fighting nothing. Where you at? In the streets, killing brothers and out. And where you at? Bus stop, barbershop, and the trap. And where you at? At the rally, this been the chairman, no matter. The kids going to be the guys that seems like powers like the time. You can find me in Southeast DC, 5 minutes away from when George Bush and them stayed. With the equipped young Africans when they came. And CRAC came to commit violence horizontally, but ironically, we bust back through philosophy. Now we looking for enemies, finding new use for Hennessy. Molotov ring a bell to me. Words in my seats, we getting free. Getting cheese, not a concern to me. Crack is hurting me. Trigonometry, matter of fact, they scared of me. Cause I'm down for the people. What's bad for the people?
Hello, everybody. So, I just need APSC and USM. I need your attention for a minute. Hello. Just the APSC and USM people who are staying in hotels and housing. It probably makes the most sense if you go back tonight with who you came with in the morning. But the exception to that will be myself, Matt, Joe, and Ariel are going to stay and help with cleanup and the coffee set up in the kitchen. So Joe, you can go to the kitchen, and then I'll drive you guys back home. So if you came with Maureen, go back with Maureen. If you came with Kafira, go back with Kafira, except I think a couple people have to go with Kafira that didn't. Janice will take Janine. Wendy Craig will go with either Penny or Kitty. So that means Ruby and Opa are going with Kafira. And Pete, you'll go with Maureen. And then Lisa, Dan, and Eli, you guys are on your own. And then I'll meet you at Stephanie's. I'm going to be staying. And Wendy, you'll be going with Maureen. So I think that's everybody. If you're confused about who you're going back with, see me. Uhuru.